To Cody's question, any prediction for what movie will gross the most this year? I think Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, just my read on where things are at, has a good chance. And if the trailers for Aquaman really feel like it's capturing the magic, maybe that one. It's tough to say because Aquaman made over $1 billion. It did better than I believe either one of the Guardians movies. But it's been several years and there hasn't been anything to kind of like fuel that Aquaman excitement. So I don't feel that energy. But it's also a movie, like I said, that seemed to overperform, way overperformed. And it's kind of difficult to know who exactly that audience is. And it kind of has that Avatar effect of water people, water effects, and seems to just play well globally. Where you don't run into a lot of people like, yeah, Aquaman's my favorite. You don't hear that. I don't want to, I think you got to keep Aquaman in the mix. If it can capture whatever it was that made the first one do so well. It's the highest grossing DC movie of all time, isn't it? Like Aquaman. Like, that's weird. That doesn't add up. Like, there's all these Batman movies that are highly praised, and I'm pretty sure Aquaman has outgrossed them. Or it's like right there with Dark Knight Rises. That's freaking weird. Nobody's like, I like Aquaman more than Batman. But Aquaman, the movie, which people thought was fun, but it's not like people are praising it as the best ever, way overperformed. So you can't count out Aquaman. And we haven't really gotten a trailer for it yet or anything like that to get a sense of what it's going to be. Don't count that one out. I would guess my prediction would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because the first one did great 8 years ago when no one knew who those characters were. Just based off of, wow, this is really good. And I think even like the holiday special just reminded people, man, I love these characters. We watched the holiday special back-to-back days this past weekend. Like the kids wanted to, let's watch it again. And it reminded me like how much I just love spending time with these characters. And there's just so much chatter surrounding James Gunn where he's like a celebrity director now in a way that he wasn't. He was a cult director when he did Guardians that worked on trauma movies. And now he's like this really interesting guy that has, was fired and hired. And now he's the head of DC, but he's making a Marvel movie. Like there's so much buzz surrounding him. Obviously, Chris Pratt, Batista, these are all much bigger stars now than they were when the original one came out. And I think there's just that's the one that I think is the safe bet. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But don't count out Aquaman for doing great. Hey, it's Sean. The next day, I realized after the live stream I missed a gigantic top contender for next year, and that's The Little Mermaid. When it comes to these Disney live-action remakes, they kind of are all over the place when it comes to box office. Some of them don't do great, and some of them do crazy, crazy good. The ones that do crazy, crazy good mostly come from the Disney Renaissance era. Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King all made over $1 billion, and next year we're getting The Little Mermaid, the movie that kicked off the Renaissance. And so when they do those Renaissance pictures, it's the perfect age for multi-generational audiences. It's people my age. I was the target audience for the Renaissance. I saw Little Mermaid through Pocahontas in the theater. That was my childhood. And now, jump forward, I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And so that era is right where, I can take my kids to go see the movie that I saw when I was growing up. So it just has so much broad, that it pulls on that nostalgia. They're great movies. The originals were, not all necessarily the remakes. And so right off the bat, Little Mermaid, I think, just based off past performance of Aladdin, Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast, very high potential for Little Mermaid to do awesome. But adding to that, my guy that I know that has already seen Aquaman, goes to a lot of these test screenings, he saw Little Mermaid last month. He's not the target audience by any means. As soon as he got out of the theater, he texted me, this movie's going to make $1 billion. That's what he said. He's not a guy that you would think, oh, that's right up his alley. No. He was just in a theater with people that were eating that movie up. They loved it. It is a crowd pleaser, even in unfinished form. So, if you look at how these Disney live-action remakes have done before, which ones are almost guaranteed hits? Disney Renaissance. The Little Mermaid is Disney Renaissance. And adding to that, the chatter coming out of the test screens, and I heard this from other people too. It wasn't just him. Other people that know people that were at the test screenings, everybody said the audience loved this movie. It just delivered what they wanted from a live-action Little Mermaid film. So it's a little bit tough for me because my inclination is to say Guardians of the Galaxy, but if you look at past box office performance, neither of the past Guardians films cracked $1 billion. Aquaman, highest grossing DC film of all time. Some of these Disney Renaissance live-action remakes made way more than Aquaman did, and dramatically more than the Guardians films. So, kind of depends a little bit on how good the movies turn out, how the marketing is going, but my guess is that it's one of those three right there. And I don't, especially having done more research since yesterday, I don't know if I can. The data is pointing towards something besides Guardians, so I might have been wrong about that. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to be the highest grossing movie of next year? Likewise, if you like these little clips of kind of me talking about more kind of topical things and box office stuff, these are snippets that I'm pulling from my Patreon live streams. The link is down below in the description. Almost every Saturday we do a Q&A. That's where a lot of these segments come from, and these little box office ones come from a box office wrap-up series that I'm also doing on Patreon moving forward. Check it out at the link down below in the description. It's just $2 per month to gain access to all those videos, or I think it's like $22 per year to gain everything for the whole year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.